All right, folks, welcome to the IWM Broadcast Network. And tonight we have the iNRS Racing Series here, our Thursday night, and we are at Bristol for the Food City 250. I'm Rick Souza here in the booth with Jeff Needy. And Jeff, this should be a blast. This is Bristol. This is the last great Coliseum.
It's Bristol, baby. This is one of my favorite tracks to go to in person, to race on, and to watch a race. And I think we're in for a very, very good one tonight. I think these guys are going to put on a show.
We've got at least 33 entries so far that have checked in tonight. We'll see. This is just one of those this classic NASCAR tracks. It's concrete. It's a half mile. It is a bull ring.
It is, and there is a lot of action, and it's almost impossible to show it all because it's happening all around the track, all race long. So you are, if you're watching tonight and you want to see action, I think you're going to see it. You're going to see passing. You're going to see different strategies. You're going to see some rubbing is racing. I think it's all in store tonight.
Let's cover a few things, Jeff. Let's talk first about the standings in the iNRS Racing Series. Let's bring that up so we can see just where we're at. So, current playoff standings, you've got those drivers in yellow. They have already won. Corey Bunch, Austin Wheeler, Jordan Wenzel, Lucas Whitehead, Dakota LaRue, Lucas Gortman. They have all punched their ticket into the playoffs. The rest of those drivers, go ahead.
I was just going to say the rest of those drivers there from 7 through 16, you can see them. They are in the hunt, but by no means locked in. The only way you can lock yourself in is to get a win, but the top 16 in points will be the first ones that make it into the playoffs, or rather the drivers that'll make it into that first round of the playoffs. And then you see P17, Jay Schultz, John Ledger, Joseph Mossau, and Matthew Parafini. They're just hanging on there, not too far out, anywhere from 4 to 15 points out. So really you get into that second half of that list there, and it's anybody's opportunity to make it in.
Absolutely. So we've got this is race number 9 in the schedule. Next week we are off for Thursday night, but we'll return for race number 10 for the for Talladega on April 24th. So this is our last race before we go off on a little bit of a 1-week hiatus, and we come back for Talladega.
That'll be a fun one too. I love the super speedways. These guys put on a great show. Great group of drafting drivers, and they know what they're doing. It makes it pretty exciting when you get to watch them 3 wide at Talladega.
So right now we're watching practice and just seeing what's happening. Let's bring up the current best times so far. Just see where we're at with drivers. So Garrett Walden right now has punched a 14:35 so far with time. That's a great time here during the day. So in fact, let's cover that real quick and kind of go over just what the race info is for tonight. So it's
yep. I'm sorry.
No worries. It's
the new graphics. I'm not able to read them. They're so small on my screen.
No worries. So it's 70 degrees air temp, but it is 101 degrees on the track. So pretty much it is a scorcher here in Bristol, Tennessee. Humidity 40%, relatively clear. We got 250 laps. We do have a stage break at lap 83. This league is no quick repairs. You break it, you own it. You got to sit it and see if you can get it fixed or get back out on the track or pack up the trailer and go home. You got 6 sets of tires, 1 on the car, 5 in the pits, 3/4 of a full tank of fuel each time, 75% fuel. And if we need them, we've got 3 green, white checker restarts as far as whether we can finish this under under green. So that's what we've got here. It is a scorcher of a day that will play into effects. Now, the reason why I bring that up is we covered a race here last night, which was a nighttime event here at Bristol, and that was not nearly as hot. The track was cooler. The times were faster. So here, with that added temperature, this track is super slippery. You can see the 26 of Eddie Musso Jr. right there. Got a little sideways coming off the third turn.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't spent a lot of time watching racing or being involved in iRacing, the higher temperatures, as Rick said, makes the track a little bit slick. And sometimes you get into the corners and it's like driving on ice. These guys have to be so careful. There's an edge that if you reach it, you've got to be really careful because it's not very far after that you've gone over the edge and your car's spinning out and going the wrong direction in a hurry. But the track gets very slick. The hotter it gets, makes it very tough to drive these cars, especially in traffic. So I think you're going to see a little bit of skittishness tonight, let's say.
Well, we've got 40 slots available. 33 have turned up for tonight. That may actually play to their advantage if it's not quite as a packed field. What we have seen at this track is that people either love it or hate it. You either know how to drive it or you don't, and unfortunately, that tends to allow the leaders to crawl up onto the bumpers of those who are not who really are struggling with the track, and that is a unique dynamic where you have the leaders trying to weave their way back through traffic relatively quickly, which is a unique aspect of Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things, Bristol is absolutely a rhythm track. A driver's got to be able to get into a rhythm. You're hard on the gas, you're on the brake going into the corner, you're accelerating out of the corner, and you just got to get into that rhythm and get a feel for how your car is handling the track conditions at that point in time. And if you can't get into that rhythm, then you can't get the best out of your car, and you end up going backwards.
All right, practice is basically winding up right about now, and we will move quickly over to qualifying.
Yeah, you can see guys sliding around out there. It's the back end wants to come around when you're coming out of the turn. You're going to be into either the inside wall or the outside wall in a hurry.
All right, we're going to pick up a driver here. Qualifying is underway. You've got 2 laps to put it down. We're currently watching. This is Jordan Wenzel.
You see, as he goes into the corner there, he's trying to stay low on qualifying, and really in the race. A lot of the times, you'll see these drivers just trying to hug that yellow line at the bottom. Shortest way around the track is usually the fastest, not always, but a lot of times it is the fastest route as well.
All right, times are beginning to post, at least for lap 1. Laps do tend to fly quickly here at Bristol. As you can tell, 14:67 right now. You see Lucas Gortman up on top.
Yeah, Corey Bunch is really close behind him, only less than 2 100ths. Now, Lucas Gortman jumped up ahead of him, and Austin Wheeler. Austin Wheeler has the provisional pole right now with a 16.3 or a 14.63, excuse me. See the 48 out there on the track right now, or just coming in.
So qualifying does go pretty quick. There's about 5 minutes that's allocated for qualifying. We're only 2 minutes in, and pretty much almost every driver has already qualified. They'll probably advance the session at that point. And then with this league, there's a 5-minute meeting that the drivers have with the race admins that will happen after qualifying. And then we will bring you the qualifying grid. We'll go through that relatively quickly tonight because we'll go right to racing pretty quick.
Right now, John DeRugeris from IWM is your broadcasting partner on Wednesdays. I think he's still doing that. He's got the provisional pole right now.
Yeah, with a 14.587, great time.
That's a fast lap for these conditions, especially.
All right, looking back down. I think
it looks like John went back out.
I think there's only 2 drivers that have yet to qualify. That's Ty Bostic and Paul Irvin. Ty is a native of Rockingham, North Carolina, not far from where I'm at, and the broadcast production facilities are here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, and just like that, that lap will not count.
Ty tried to get just a little too much out of it there in qualifying.
Oh, and you saw Paul Irvin in the 51. He wrecked again. Unfortunately, the way it works here at iRacing is that if you do have contact with the wall, you are done. That lap will not count. So, but it does appear that he did put up a lap, so he will be counted. Every driver has qualified here. There's still about another 30 seconds left, but qualifying is over. And again, as we said earlier, the iNRS Racing League does have a 5-minute drivers meeting, which they'll go to right after qualifying is ended.
I don't know how much you can read into this on iRacing, but Chevys seem to have the edge. They've got the top 3 spots right at the moment. And then Ford actually has more in the top 10, but Chevy's got 4 of the top 6.
All right, we shall see how that all plays out. Is it a factor? All right, so the qualifying is over. As soon as we get to done with the drivers' meeting, we'll bring you that grid. But in the meantime, let's talk briefly about really what we think are our keys to tonight's event. So right there,
yeah.
qualifying. Qualifying matters here, especially at this track. It is so challenging, hard to. You'll see lots of passing, but it's not easy.
No, absolutely. And the second key to the race, track position, follows qualifying. I mean, qualifying determines your track position to start the race. And if you can start up front, that gives you an edge because it's tough to get through the field on a track that's this short and everybody's moving really, really quickly. So track position is the second key, in our opinion, to having a good night tonight.
Well, and finally, you've got to survive, and by that, it's whether that's an incident of your own making or getting caught up in someone else's. It really, 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 you've got to do your best to stay out of trouble and do your best to avoid incidents on the track. What we saw and have seen in the past here at Bristol is that it's easy to get caught up in it, but you've got to be strategic. This is not about fuel mileage. That will be relatively a non-factor in tonight's event, with this being a half-mile track and with 3/4 of fuel. My math says they can do at least about half those. I think half those miles, half those laps on one tank of fuel. So they only really need to come in once or maybe a splash and go, but it's going to be about tires.
Boy, I'll say, and as slick as this track is and sliding around, in your street car, anytime you slide your tires, you're just scraping rubber off that tire. So you've got to keep your car under control. You've got to have a good setup. You've got to have good car control. Everything matters at Bristol. One little mistake, as you were talking earlier about surviving, it's difficult to see past the corner, and the track is short, and you're going so fast that all of a sudden there's an accident right there in front of you, and you're doing 160, 170 miles an hour. It's tough to get woed up and stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. And we should be able to show you that from our in-car cameras. Each car does carry an in-car camera, and we'll be able to bring you that view from the front to the back of the field. So there's a couple minutes left before we go live.
Yeah, the drivers' meeting's going on right now. I can hear that in the background on my feed, and talking about the race tonight, talking about some of the things they all need to be aware of and watch out for. These guys race really well together. I think there's a lot of respect among these drivers. You don't see intentional crashes or people,
We're looking forward to this event. This is now this league does run 50% of what you'll see at Bristol, and I'm confused. Are we at Bristol for in real life? Is that a Saturday night race or is that a Sunday race here? Do you know for sure?
blast to watch. Yeah, it's a Sunday afternoon race. Starts about 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.
All right, so that does give you a chance to kind of preview that. Again, we run about half the laps that they will on Sunday here in the iNRS Racing Series. So just 20 seconds left. You saw that little subscribe bug. If you could take the opportunity, if you haven't already, to click on that YouTube subscribe button so we can bring you all kinds of racing events. Definitely our Wednesday night and our Thursday nights are full of iRacing here on the IWM Broadcast Network. All right, our drivers meeting is coming to an end, and we should be able to bring you that grid as soon as these drivers grid up. And we'll get our first driver who gets in his car and
Timing and scoring's just updated, so I would think we'd have the grid there shortly.
We do have the grid. All right, here's the grid for tonight's event. All right, looks like John Durudris is on the pole tonight. He will be to the outside, will be Paul Irvin. Interesting enough, those two drivers were the last two to qualify. Austin Wheeler, Lucas Gordman, Jordan Wenzel is in fifth. Matt Brusini is in sixth. Corey Bunch is in seventh. Jacob Musso is in eighth. Michael Whitley Jr. in ninth. Eric Jeffers in 10th. Josh Douglas in 11th. And Garrett Walden is in 12th.
In that 13th spot, we've got Joe Mosso. 14th, Ty Bostic, even having that rough qualifying, he was able to pull out a good starting spot. 15, John Ledger. 16, Corey Ennis. 17, Austin Walton. 18, Ron Fitting. 19, Vince Burns. And 20th is Shane Trotter. 21, Matt Crockett. In 22nd, Scott Thomas. 23rd, Tony Japs. And in 24th, Christopher Cash.
All right, and in 25th, you've got Richard Mills, Jeff Ramsdale in 26th, Lucas Whitehead 27th, Dakota LaRue in 28th, Bradley Reese 29th, Tyler Lem 30th, Clark Franz 31st, Eddie Musso Jr. 32nd, and Robin Maldonado is in 33rd. That is our grid for tonight.
And you see the cars out there on the track now on their pace laps, following that pace car around this half-mile bull ring. It's tension is starting to build up in the drivers' minds. They're making sure their belts are tight. They are making sure their car is running well, and they're just getting ready to go.
Pace car's about to drop off the racing surface, which puts this restart in the hands of the 59 of John DeRudris.
I've never seen John run that paint scheme. That's a good-looking car tonight. I call that Pittsburgh Steelers colors.
Close, close. 51 of Paul Irvin to the outside. Austin Wheeler behind the 59 and the 16 of Lucas Cortman right there. And off we go. 59 jumps out to a nice lead, rides up to the top. He's already challenged by the 48. The high line is a little faster here at times, but you will get, and the caution has already flown. Take the
cold tires.
Yeah, 21 of Matt Crockett.
Whoa, and runs. Oh man, wow. John Ledger T-boned him there. I hope he just damage.
Yeah, he just contacted the pole sitter.
Saw the front of John's car as he went by there. Didn't look like it was too much damage. He got slowed down pretty good. So
yeah.
Hopefully that won't hurt him.
All right, already our first caution just on the first lap today. I'm sure they'll just settle down, get themselves together here.
That was a tough spot. He was trying to get out of that situation, that driver that spun out there. I didn't catch who that was, but he was trying to get out and get back on the track before he got lapped, before that pace car got past him.
Let's just take a quick peek at that. That was Matt Crockett here. See, the 21 is down low. Well, not his fault.
No,
just spun by the 38, it appears. A little bit of contact with that left rear.
Yes, somebody catches your right corner, and there's no way you're going to keep that car straight. It's just going to spin you right up into the wall.
All right, that unfortunately that contact was initiated by the 38 of Shane Trotter, unfortunately. So a little bit of contact there. End up looping the 21 of Matt Crockett around, and unfortunately putting him in a difficult situation here. Everything happened so quickly here at Bristol. We said that earlier. It's just 14 and a half seconds from to make it around this track. So you got no time to woe up.
Nope, not at all. If you think about that 4 corners, you've got just less than 4 seconds for each corner. So you're boom, boom, boom. Very short breather on the stretch, the front stretch and the back stretch, but you're barely up to speed and you're off the gas again, getting into the next turn. So it just so quickly you get around this track.
All right, we're about to do this all over again, and here we go. The 59 of John DeRudris gets another good restart out in front and then drops down. He moved up to the high line before because he felt that was where to go.
One of the advantages the leader has is if he can keep that second place car from getting alongside him, he can use whatever part of the track he wants, and he doesn't have any disturbing air coming onto the front of his car. So he's got an aero advantage to a degree, but he's also got the advantage of being able to use any lane. He can drift clear up to the wall coming off the corner. He can dive down low to shorten the distance on the entrance to the corner, and just a big advantage to be running up front.
John's got a pretty good line going on there. Of course, he's right there with the 48 of Austin Wheeler, doing it just a little bit differently. Austin Wheeler tends to drop down and move down to the yellow line, or at least the mid part of these corners, and then drift back up to the high line. Looks like the 59 of DeRugis takes a slightly different route. He's either mid and high the whole time, so a little bit different line, and we'll see that here at Bristol. It's whatever works for you, but with each approach comes with temperature and wear in those tires.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing that helps a driver determine the line is how much wear he's putting on his tires. The outside line, you're not turning as sharply, but you're going faster. So there's give and take to each one, but depending how your car's set up, it will affect how hot your tires get and how quickly they wear.
Well, as we mentioned before to you, you'd be surprised at how quickly these drivers catch up with the car in front of them at the end of the. They get caught up with the end of the pack, and now if you look at that map, we've just got one straightaway, and your leader will be on top of the car at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, here we are. We're only on lap 15 or 15, and they're close to getting the lap cars, just like you were saying. John DeRugis, his best lap so far was actually faster than his qualifying lap. He ran a 14.588 in qualifying, and now his fast lap here is a 14.568. So 2 100ths of a second faster. That doesn't seem like much distance, but pretty amazing to be able to run a faster lap in the race than you have in qualifying on a short track like Bristol.
All right, that first group of drivers have kind of broken away a little bit.
Yeah, you see Jordan Wenzel getting a little bit of pressure from Austin Wheeler now. And Paul Irvin's right. In fact, Paul Irvin just passed Austin Wheeler.
Yeah, I think Austin Wheeler was right up there. I think he's running that different line. He's kind of backed out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let those cars go past. The 81 of Jordan Wenzel and Paul Irvin. Let them make an attempt to catch up to the leader. And caution is out again.
That is no fun for these guys. So
yeah, it's very odd. Dakota LaRue, that caution brought out by the 18 of Dakota LaRue. He had just come off the pit lane. Let's kind of see what we see here. Now, what can possibly happen coming off pit road is it's super easy to spin as you transition from the apron up to the racing surface.
He's trying to hold it down there, comes up, makes a clean entrance. I thought that there he tried to get out of the way. He wasn't quite up to speed.
Oh, he stopped on the track. That's what brought out the caution. All right, so this second caution was brought out by Dakota LaRue. Actually stopped on the track. That brought out the caution. Here at lap 23, we do again remind you that we have the stage break at 83. What that means is the pits will close at lap 81 and the stage will end at the end of lap 83, start of lap 84. We thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast network of the iNRS Racing Series. And again, if you get a chance to subscribe, we would appreciate that.
Good racing on this network Wednesdays and Thursday nights. Wednesday nights, you and John DeRugeris, our leader, broadcast a race with the iRacing Warriors IWM race group, and they put on some great racing too. So if you have an interest in following along on some of the iRacing that's taking place in these broadcasts, and please join us on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. Right now, let's take a look at the top 10. You've got John DeRugeris, Jordan Wenzel, Austin Wheeler, Paul Irwin, Michael Whitley Jr., Corey Bunch, Josh Douglas, Lucas Corman, John Ledger, and Matt Parasini. Rounding out that top 10, and the pace car hits pit road.
All right, we're back underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 59 gets out in front, but he's got a lot of competition right there up close with Austin Wheeler and Jordan Wenzel.
Yeah, those guys are not going to let him get a big jump. I think they're getting, whoa, little contact there.
Yeah.
They're not going to let him get a good jump. Now you see Jordan Wenzel up there in second. But that little bit of contact allowed John DeRugeris to get probably 2 more car lengths out in front there. Gave him a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah, again, you said earlier in the broadcast that it's a rhythm track. We'll go on board with Jordan Wenzel, and you kind of get a feel for what Jordan's seeing out his windshield and just how he is approaching this track.
You see he takes a much lower line going into the corner there. Drifts up to the wall, then back down to the bottom again. He's making progress on that entrance. Then he tends to lose a little bit on the straightaway.
Is what we refer to as diamonding the corners. Cuts this sharp, goes to the center. Actually, there he held it the whole time. He's looks to me like he's trying different ways to get around this track to get a little bit of advantage on that 59.
Yeah, until you've actually spent some time trying to race an oval car, you don't understand how much is involved in getting that fast lap, getting the advantage out of your car. There's all sorts of different lines that you can take. Some of them better than others, some much better than others, and some much worse. So it's you'll see a lot of these guys experiment towards the opening laps of the race to try to find out, okay, what's going to work for my driving style and my car, and then how can I best use that later in the race.
A little contact with the wall there. You'll see that here again, as we've said ad nauseum. Things happen fast here at Bristol, and it's very easy to drift up a little high, get caught into that safer barrier, and get dragged backwards.
Yeah, and if you get sucked into that safer barrier, sometimes it can be tough to get off of it. It's almost like a vacuum cleaner sucking you into it. And sometimes you have to give your steering wheel a pretty good tug to get off of that safer barrier, and that thing will slow you down in a hurry. We've seen Jordan Wenzel catch up to John DeRugeris now, probably only about 2 car lengths difference. You see he makes progress on him there, gets a little bit, and the caution's out again.
Caution is flown again for what appears to be Dakota LaRue.
Ooh.
Right
Yeah,
there.
he is way off the pace.
Well, and he's also trying to, you can't really ride that yellow line right there. And he looks to me like he stops again on the track. And that's what brings out the caution.
Yep. And there were a few drivers weren't happy last time that happened. I think there's probably going to be more a little upset now. These guys do not like the yellow flag. They want to be racing. John DeRugers came into the pits, gave up the lead.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I was surprised by that. I think the cars behind him were too.
Yeah, well, a number of drivers are on pit road. Looks about to be about half the field has decided to come in at this stage. Of course, if you got the tires, maybe not a bad thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. 40 laps, you're starting to feel it. So let's see how the new tires do for him.
All right. Jeff, I'm going to test your Wayback memory. Which two NASCAR drivers famously fought on pit road during the 1999 Bristol night race?
Ooh, boy. 99. That wasn't Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, was it?
Nope. I'll give you multiple choice. Earnhardt Wallace, Gordon Stewart, Labonte Earnhardt, Gordon Kenseth.
I'm going to say Gordon Kenseth.
And we're back to green flag racing. The answer to that trivia question is Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, boy.
Good jump out in front by Jordan Wenzel. Go ahead.
That wasn't the race where he just meant to rattle his cage, was it?
I think he did more than rattle his cage. They definitely got into
That was Earnhardt. I remember that race, and that was Earnhardt's. He spun Terry and got the win, took the win away from Terry, but afterwards he said he didn't mean to spin him, just meant to rattle his cage.
We're back underway here, lap 46, about halfway through to our stage break at 83. Jordan Wenzel now leads. Paul Irvin is right there on his bumper, not too far back. Michael Whitley Jr. in the 94, and Austin Wheeler in the 48. Got the 97 of Jeff Ramsdell there in that autism awareness paint scheme. Beautifully painted car there. Joe Musso right there as well, and the 43 of Garrett Walden. John DeRugers now finds himself in 13th after that pit stop. He is the first car in 13th who went in during that pit stop. Saw that 16 of Lucas Courtman get a little squirrely there versus on fresh tires.
Yeah, when you put new tires on a car.
And caution's back out. To the 22 of Ty Bostic and the 36 of Bradley Reese. Seemed to have gotten tangled up there. To the 22. So 36 winds up getting contact with the 53, and unfortunately, a number of drivers get involved. The 22, as well as Robin Maldonado, Maldonado in the 53, who was also involved in that incident.
That drops Ty Bostic back to 29th now.
Here's another question for you, Jeff. And those viewers
Show
who
off my
are,
intelligence,
yep,
like
and
last time.
and if you're playing, you can play along at home. If you know the answer, chime right in. Which driver won the first ever NASCAR dirt race at Bristol in the Cup Series in 2021?
I am pretty sure it was Joey Logano.
That would be correct. It was
Yes.
Joey
Yes.
Logano. So you're asking, why are these guys in the booth talking about Bristol trivia? Well, it's because we're on our fourth caution with only 54 laps.
Yep.
We're doing it to keep you as entertained as we are.
John DeRugeris made up 2 spots just in that short time. He got back up to 11th there.
Jordan Wenzel looks like he's elected to take the outside line. That's the choice I hear most drivers selecting here at Bristol. He'll have Paul Irvin to his inside, and Michael Whitley Jr. and Austin Wheeler will be in row 2.
The guys that are at the front right now are no strangers to the front. They're guys that we see run up front week in and week out in this league, trying to get themselves in the best position they can leading into the playoffs. We still have a long way to go, but it is never too early to start prepping for a playoff run.
Looks like the 18 of Dakota LaRue has retired. All right, back underway here. Green flag flies. Jordan Wenzel out in front. We're 2x2 right behind, though, with the 51. And, well, that changed. Paul Irvin jumped out in front. 48 slips in behind, but not too far back. We are still battling door to door here at Bristol.
Yep, and Ty Bostic had to go back in. Must have had a little bit of damage. He needed some repair work, so he came out 1 lap down. He's the first car lap down now. Actually, he's 2 laps down, but he's still the first car over a lap down, and he'll be eligible for the lucky dog. Get 1 lap back anyway.
Watching Jordan Wenzel here has got a good battle with Paul Irvin, trying to find his way around. You got to be careful here because, you could use up all your stuff here trying to, run down that leader. And just as a word of just an information, the top 8 drivers here have not pitted.
This will be interesting to see how 60-lap tires fare against new tires.
You just saw that the 81 of Jordan Wenzel just tapped the safer barrier.
We're a couple laps into this green flag run, and John DeRugeris' first car with new tires really hasn't made up any ground in these couple laps, and the caution's out again, which Ty Bostic is going to be thrilled to see that.
So it's like the 69 of Christopher Cash went around. Not sure what caused that. But yeah, Ty Bostic will get the lucky dog, and we'll be able to get back on the lead lap. See what happened to Chris Cash here. We're seeing that that is consistent with what we've seen so far.
Yep. That back end gets loose coming off the corner. And it's tough to know just how much to correct it. And you saw there, he overcorrected just a little bit. And that was enough to end that run. That drops him to the last car on the lead lap. Ty Bostic is going to get the lucky dog, and that'll get him 1 lap back, and he'll only be 1 lap down. There he goes, past the pace car.
Yep. All right, we're getting ready to rack and stack this back up again. In a lap or so. Looks like we're getting pretty close. By the time we go back to racing, maybe 15 laps before we get to a competition caution at lap 83 for our stage 1 stage break.
Yep, this probably is not going to work out great for all those guys that pitted for tires, because I'm betting that these guys up front, the 8 cars that have not pitted yet, are just going to run this out to the stage break, take tires there, and with 8 of them up there, they'll probably be able to hold on to that. Last run, the guys didn't seem to be able to make up much ground on the leaders. This is another thing, when we talked about Bristol being a rhythm track, another thing that makes it hard to get your rhythm is when you start having caution after caution after caution. And here we are, this is either 5 or 6 cautions that we've had so far. And that makes it very tough. You know, if you've had 6 cautions in 60 laps, that makes it tough to get a rhythm.
All right, back under green here at Bristol. Kurt Wenzel out in front, but big battle right behind. For these short tracks, the leader always gets that little bit of a jump. He's got that advantage there, but what happens behind is always the wildest.
Yeah, you can see that 51 of Paul Irvin really taking the high line there on that last lap.
Door-to-door action right here behind the leaders.
Yeah, a lot of times the best racing, I think we saw that at Darlington in the Real Cup Series. A lot of times the best racing isn't up front. It's back in mid-pack where you got guys just scratching and clawing for position all day long.
Nearly 3 wide there with a 33. 28's down low, and now it is 3 wide. 59 up high, 33 in the middle, 28 down low. That's Joe Musso. There's still 3 wide here on this very hot, slippery track here at Bristol. At some point you got to say, ooh, this is a long race. I need to back out a little bit. Josh Douglas in the 8 there, 15 behind him. That's Clark Franz. Looking farther back, you've got the 42 of Tony Japs there, right there. Three wide again. These guys are, this is a super, the commentator loves it. The driver in me kind of worries a bit.
Boy, that 12 car got a big run off that last corner.
Yep, that's Eric Jeffers right there. A bit of contact with the wall. That doesn't help him at all.
It's funny, when you were talking about the drivers being 3 wide, I was trying to listen a little bit to the driver's radio, and you hear one of those 3 drivers. I couldn't tell which one it was, but he was getting nervous. His voice went up about an octave.
Let's jump back up front with our leaders. Jordan Wenzel's got a pretty good jump on the 51 of Paul Irvin, who's got a battle of his own going on with the 48 of Austin Wheeler. Again, 1, 2, 3 of those drivers have not pitted yet, and John Ledger now finds himself in 4th, all by himself. He did pit on lap 41, so he's got 41 laps of fresher tires than your leaders. .48 of Austin Wheeler is almost found a way around the 51. 51 keeps drifting up a little bit, and there's contact with the wall. All right, we're just a lap or two away from the end of this stage break. Pits are now closed. We're expecting a competition caution in a lap or so, as the leaders are already dealing with a lap down car. And that's the end of stage 1. The 48 of Austin Wheeler makes his way around the 51 of Paul Irvin to pick up stage points there. And we're under a competition caution for the end of our stage. Some solid racing here, Jeff. We've seen some great racing throughout the field.
We really have. There's been some great racing mid-pack, and there have been certain times where we've had really good racing up front. Some of the guys will get it tightened up. Part of the time they're just running nose to tail up there, but it's still, we're still in the first half of the race. And most of the time guys are not going to make risky maneuvers and get too much pushing and shoving early on. But as we wind down the laps and get closer to the end, we always say it, there's a lot of give and take early in the race, and late in the race it becomes a lot more take.
Well, that competition caution could have happened at a better time for the 22 of Ty Bostic. He gets his lap back and then finds himself now on the lead lap.
Yeah, good for Ty. That puts him back in the hunt again. At this point, it looks like Dakota LaRue is the only driver that's out. We've got a couple drivers that are 20, 25 laps down. Bradley Reese is 22 laps. Matt Crockett's 25 laps down. Robin Maldonado is 9 laps down. Looks like, Richard Mills is 5 down. Lucas Gortman 2 laps down. And Lucas Gordman is now in the catbird seat for the next. I'm assuming there's going to be a next caution, and he'll be the lucky dog.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. All right, again, thanks for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series. We are here at Bristol under a competition caution for our end of our stage number 1. A little bit different complexion up at the front. You got Matt Persini in the 24, who did not come in under that caution because he pitted on lap 65. He stayed out and puts him as the control car up in front.
And the front group's pretty tight this time.
They sure are, and with everybody having fresh tires, you're going to have a little bit of patience here as you build heat back in these tires. Current track temp is 97 degrees, air temp 70. So it's still a bit warm here and sticky.
I'm going to correct what I said earlier. Dakota LaRue is not out of the race. He's still in the race, but he is, looks like 77 laps down right at the moment.
He may have had a connection issue or something that caused him to disconnect,
yeah,
but he's back.
And for some reason, even though Ty would have gotten the, I don't know if it was because he pitted again, but he is still 1 lap down. Ty Bostic in that 22 car. Yeah.
All right, so still a battle up front here between Matt Pericini, Jordan Wenzel, Paul Irvin. Paul Irvin takes the low line around. The 24 stays high. Oh, the 81 of Jordan Wenzel gets a little too high and rubs up against that safer barrier. That drops him back just a little bit. And with all of that, Tyra Lem is right there on their tail. So big battle up front amongst these drivers. And they're about to...
Matt Pericini is trying hard to hold on to that lead, but the 51 just took it. Paul Irvin was able to get by him in the corner there, and Carroll's Racing 51 car is now the front runner.
All right, Paul Irvin has made his way around Matt Pericini. Looks like Lucas Gortman is on pit road. Good racing with that 51. He is definitely making some distance between himself. Let's go try to get some information on that gap.
Yeah, John DeRugeris, that early pit stop is really, that strategy's really backfired on him. That's a shame. Yep. He's dropped down to 21st position now. Still won the lead lap, but going the wrong direction at this point. Caution's out again.
Well, big mess up here. The 12, the 17, and the 15. That's Clark Franz. The 12 is Eric Jeffers. The 17 is Austin Walton. The 53 is involved. That's Robin Maldonado in the back as well. So 7th time tonight the caution has flown. See some front end damage on that 15. Let's see if we can figure out just what happened here. Well, nearly 3 wide, and that's never a good thing. Looks like that. Well, we go back. Ooh. Looks like that 12 just may have drifted up a little bit. So let's go.
Yeah, that was.
Watching the 15. So he turned down a little bit. The 12 came up, and unfortunately just not clear. And then unfortunately everybody else is just piling in after them.
That's what we were talking about earlier, how things happen so quickly. You see it there. You get a couple cars out of shape, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. And then all of a sudden, the guys behind them, they're coming full speed. And they just don't have enough time to react to get slowed down enough.
Looks like there's some significant front end damage on the 12, especially right front. I think the 17 also had some damage as well.
Yeah, let's see if the doesn't look like they're going to go in and get that fixed, does it?
No. Get the wave around.
Now the 12's coming in.
Yeah, I think he's got some significant structural damage there. All right, lap 105, almost to that halfway point. Here at Bristol, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. And good restart for the 51 of Paul Urban, but the 81 was right there. Didn't let him get away much.
Yeah, and Austin Wheeler, the same thing. He's dropping back a little bit now, but he had a good start. I'm not sure what happened there. Now they line up. First group of cars lined up single file.
Arvin continues to lead. Jordan Wenzel's in second. The 48 of Austin Wheeler is in third. Austin Walton with the 17, who was involved in that last incident, is still in the pits making repairs, as is the 12 of Eric Jeffers. A number of other drivers, the 33 of Lucas Whitehead and Lucas Cortman, both are on pit road trying to get some repairs made.
This league races without what they call a quick repair. So fast repair, quick repair. If that rule is in effect, allows you a certain number of times in a race to have your car fixed instantaneously. On a track like Bristol, that would sure come in handy, but this league has chosen to run more real-life rules where you get damaged. Doesn't matter if it's your fault or somebody else's. Damage is damage, and you have to go through the iRacing process of repair, where iRacing will determine how much damage your car has and how long that takes to repair it. And now we've got somebody else having an issue, and have our 8th caution now on lap 114.
I think this may be another issue with Dakota LaRue.
This seems to be an instant replay, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why he thinks he can stop on the track like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Looks like he's having trouble controlling the car.
Yep. Unfortunate. All right.
Car picks up the field.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in. We're under our 8th caution of the night here at lap 116. All right. Well, number of drivers are in the pits right now, getting some work done. Garrett Walden working his way around. This is a very challenging pit road here. You got to come in and you wind your way all the way around, depending on where your box is.
Yeah, in their effort to make pit stop timing fair, everybody has to do a full lap in the infield, and that can really on caution flag pit stops anyway. That can really take a toll.
All right.
while we were watching the racing at the front of the field, on my other screen, I went back and looked at some of the mid-pack racing, and you get back there where the Mossows are, and Corey Ennis, Vince Burns, Shane Trotter, back in that area, in that 10 to 20 range. You have some really good racing back there. Guys mixing it up, guys changing positions, going for passes, things like that. So there is some exciting racing going on out here for sure.
All right, green flag flies again. Paul Irvin jumps out front. A lot of good battling here right up the front. Josh Douglas finds himself up to 5th. And Tyra Lem is the story right now. He's up 26 positions, up to 4th.
Wow, that's a huge jump.
Good solid racing up front, going back, looking in the field, looking farther back. We're looking at the front. It's kind of narrowed down to single file, but hey, jump back to 17th, and caution flies again.
Oh my!
At the 53 of Robin Maldonado crashed, and I think his car may be toast. We'll see if he's got some repairs he can get made.
Yep, just got loose coming off the corner. Can't quite gather it back up. Oh,
yeah,
almost had it.
Tony Japs got the, unfortunately got collected as well. 40. Well, in fact, you know what? I'm looking at that 42, and I think he's got some problems. Let's go to live. Let's see where the 42 is right now. Yep, he's
sitting in his pit stall. Oh, and just disappeared out of his pit stall. Oh no, there. He is. That's me cutting out.
Yep, he's got some. I think he's got some damage on that left side. I don't think that that left front is actually turning. So.
Yeah.
All right, 125 laps done. We're just at the official halfway point here in the iNRS Racing Food City 250 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We thank you for tuning in.
I love this racetrack, but there are times where Darrell Waltrip used to say it all the time, cautions breed cautions. And sometimes you get in that rut and just can't seem to break out of it. And that seems to be where we're at tonight. 9 cautions in. We're halfway, just past halfway to the finish. But then that you never know. Sometimes all of a sudden things will click and we'll get a long green flag run that will really separate the cars at that point. You'll see the difference between the good cars and the bad cars. Right now, just as they start to get spread out, caution happens and they bunch back up.
All right, back underway here.
Paul Irvin got a good jump there on that restart. Got a good over a quarter of a second lead. See about 5 car lengths in there.
Sure did. Tyler Lem now works his way up into second.
And you've got Austin Wheeler and Jordan Wenzel. Those two have been door to door all night long. They've got to be tired of looking at each other right at the moment. They want to move up a little bit, get up there, back up to the front.
Leaders are kind of fanned out a bit in a single file, but you can't look too far back, and you'll see the 25 of Jacob Musso is right there running that low line.
Another one, the 19 car of John Ledger is having a great run tonight. He's up in sixth now, just been slowly making his way towards the front, just been progressing all night long. He's up 9 positions, so that's a very good solid run for John.
Get back to the field. I think the field has mainly stretched itself out a bit. Again, number of drivers who are still on pit road: Tony Japs, Eric Jeffers, Lucas Whitehead, and Dakota LaRue on pit road getting repairs made. Lucas Gortman has retired, as has Robin Maldonado. Oh, wrecking right in front. That's the 27 going around. Caution flies with his contact with, I think, the 69 of Christopher Cash.
And then once he was turned around and in the wall, it looked like somebody caught him head on at low speed.
Yes.
Yep, look at both those guys get in the wall there.
Yeah, that's the 27 of Corey Ennis, and then looking back as he's stuck there on the wall, 55 of Vince Burns doesn't have contact with him, but fills up his windshield.
Yeah, I'll say. Tenth caution of the night. You saw what brought that yellow flag out there. Looks like a few cars are going to go down pit road here.
It's like our leaders will come down pit road.
Yep.
With the exception of the 48 of Austin Wheeler and the 97 of Jeff Ramsdell, they decide to stay out.
So let's see. They last pitted on lap 86, and we're at 137 now. So 14, 37, about 51. I'm doing math backwards here. So you got about 40 laps or so. Different tires.
I think that's it. They've got plenty of tires. It's not really a fuel issue. It's the speed difference on fresh tires versus old tires. I believe is pretty significant.
Yep. And we know the guys that just changed have the tires to go the distance. They ran to that stage break, which was 80 some laps, 83, I think, 84. And with as many caution laps as we're running, that helps with your tire wear. It helps you get more laps. So I think this group that just pitted has enough tires to get to the end if they need to.
Well, the lights are off on top of the pace car, so we'll be going green next time by.
Yep, and lights should be coming back on.
They are back on.
I just heard the spotter say we are not going green.
Well, as often happens here at Bristol, sometimes give the drivers a chance to get their stuff together.
I'm going to guess that our pole sitter, John DeRugeris, must have something wrong with his car, because he has dropped back to 18th.
Yep,
now.
there was an incident with him and the 33 and the 16.
That explains that. He still holds the fastest lap of the race, though. One of those early laps where he turned that 14:56. So that's pretty doggone quick for track conditions tonight.
All right, back underway here. Austin Wheeler leads them and down and takes the green flag on this restart and jumps out to a good jump. Looking at Paul Irvin in second, Jeff Ramsdell in third, Jordan Wenzel in fourth, Tyler Lem in fifth, Matt Pericini is in sixth. See the 15th of Clark France moving his way up. John Letcher to the outside. Joe Musso is right there. Christopher Cash right there. The 8 of Josh Douglas. To the right behind him, the 3 of Ron Fitting. Scott Thomas. That's in 13th. Shane Trotter in 14th. In 15th, you got Eddie Musso Jr. In 16th, Garrett Walden. Michael Whitley Jr. finds himself in 17th. 18th is Jacob Musso. Ty Bostic is back in 19th, and John T. is in 20th.
Got 2 more cars still on that lead lap. Vince Burns and Corey Ennis. Now Vince Burns just moved ahead of John DeRugers. But then you've got several cars. Corey Ennis is 1 lap down. Richard Mills 3 laps down. Corey Bunch is 5 laps down. Austin Walton 16 laps down. Tony Japs is in the pits at 22 and counting. Bradley Reese is 23. Matt Crockett 26. Robin Maldonado 35. Eric Jeffers 35. So you've got guys that have had damage, and like we said earlier, without that quick repair, they have no choice. If they get too much damage, they have to go to the pits and just have to wait. iRacing will determine how long they must sit there. Paul Irwin still holding the lead there in that 51 machine. Jordan Wenzel, Austin Wheeler, Tyler Lem, and Matthew Pericini rounding out that top 5.
Yeah, the leaders have gotten a pretty good jump over the field. They'll start getting bunched back up a bit here. See this group at that is the battle for third. Now,
Paul Wheeler's got a great lead now.
Yeah, Austin Wheeler in the 48. He pitted last on lap 86, and everybody in front of him pitted on lap 137. You can see the difference in the tire wear. Those guys basically just drove around the 48. He's back there. Jeff Ramsdell also in the 97. Pitted last on lap 86. Everybody else in the top 20 pitted on lap 137. So there's a good chance those guys will get run over pretty soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Austin Wheeler and Jeff Ramsdell are going to find themselves slowly going backwards.
Just about timing.
Yep, absolutely. Joe Mossau should be the next one to, well, he just dropped a spot. Well, he and Josh Douglas are trading places. They're going back and forth now.
Well, the 97 is kind of like since he's running that high line, kind of makes it hard to get around. They're almost 3 wide behind with the 69 of Christopher Cash.
Yeah, they get to the point where your car is faster, but not quite fast enough to be able to pass him. So he gets the advantage of having that run off the corner.
Oh, yellow flag comes out.
There we go.
Joe Musso.
Well, we had almost a 20 lap run there. That was nice while it lasted.
Let's try to see just what happened here to Joe. Okay, we were just talking about him. At 97, right on old tires, right in front. Got the 69 of Chris Cash. A little touch there, unfortunately, with the 28.
Looked like he was getting a run on him, but he couldn't get down low enough to get past him. There was a car passing on his inside,
Lots
and
of
boy, that just
additional. Yeah, the
yeah.
22 of Ty Bostic, pretty much. I think he is done for the night.
Yeah, he's in the pits now, I think.
Well, you can see right there the damage on that car. That left front is not rotating.
Oh boy.
So I think the 22 is done.
That's a shame for Ty. He had a decent run going. He just got twice there. He got caught up in somebody else's stuff.
All right, that's our 11th caution of the night, lap 161 of 250. As this race here at Bristol begins to wind down, we're under caution for an incident with a lot of cars. Your current leader is the 51 of Paul Irvin. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We'll go side by side. You won't miss anything.
ACE HDI provides commercial smart security systems, audio-visual solutions, TV mounting and installation, access control, and surveillance systems. In addition, our networking division can provide business networking and Wi-Fi solutions. All these systems can be remotely managed through our ACE HDI applications and cloud-based solutions. Running a business these days is a tough and demanding job. Let the folks at ACE HDI ensure that your place of business is safe for your workers and your company assets. ACE HDI can offer you integrated burglar alarm systems, access control and health, and wellness systems to ensure the safety of your employees and visitors. If you are looking to modernize or purchase a new fire alarm system, look no further than ACE HDI. We can offer you the latest state-of-the-art solutions to keep watch over your business. Does your surveillance system need a refresh? ACE HDI can install the latest 4K surveillance cameras with custom analytics and AI to help you understand what's happening in and around your business. Are you a restaurant or hospitality venue? Does your facility host sporting events? Reach out to ACE HDI for the latest in video displays and audio systems to enhance and define your place of business. ACE HDI service area includes both North and South Carolina. Reach out to us today at 336-941-3171 or via email at info@ace-hdi.com.
All right, we're back. Lap 166 here at Bristol. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. Paul Irvin is your leader as we watch the laps tick away here at Bristol. Jeff, we've had some great racing so far. I've had a few instances where we've had some cautions come out for single car issues, but for the most part, we've seen just the fact that drivers get a little bit loose out of 4 and spin, or out of 2, and it's just played havoc.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. Our top 5 drivers, 4 of them have been in the top 5 almost all night. So Tyler Lame is the only one, and he's a success story for tonight too. 25 spots he has gained during this race, climbed all the way from 30th to 5th. So that's a pretty amazing run for Tyler there in that 99 machine. But Paul Irvin, Jordan Wenzel, Matt Parasini, Austin Wheeler, they have been running in that top 5 all night long. Started in the top 5 and have stayed there. So a real good run for those guys. But there has been some exciting racing back a little ways further back in that, 12th through 20th spot. Been some good side-by-side action back there, and gives you a little bit of everything that you want to see in a Bristol race.
There's just 15 cars still on the lead lap here. Those incidents, cautions, and pit stops have kind of played havoc with the field. We do have 4 retirees: Robin Maldonado, Lucas Whitehead, Lucas Portman, and Dakota LaRue. Actually, a few more: Joe Musso and Ty Bostic have also retired.
Yeah, I think that last caution flag took the wind out of a few sails. There were so many cars in that all of a sudden we have a lot more cars a lap down, or 2 laps down now, than we have all night.
On pit road,
Paul
you just
Urban.
got one. Is Christopher Cash. He was involved in that last incident. Go ahead, you were saying?
I was just going to say, Paul Urban's still holding on to the lead. Has a comfortable, probably 3-4 car advantage right now. Jordan Wenzel and Austin Wheeler back there fighting for that second spot.
Yeah, good battle for second between the 48 and the 81.
I feel bad for these drivers tonight with this amount of caution flags. We touched on it earlier. Just really makes it hard to get in a rhythm, and Bristol being such a rhythm track, I know we've talked about that a lot, but you can't put too much importance on how getting into a good rhythm helps you so much at Bristol. So
these guys, not to interrupt, Jeff, these guys have caught up to the 51 of Paul Urban, and Austin Wheeler is about to take over the lead.
Yep, there he went.
It couldn't have come at a more challenging time, because now these drivers are about to wind up mixing with lap down traffic.
Yeah, this is where it's really going to get interesting, because as they catch up, you can see them up there looking through the windshield of that car that, there he goes around a lap car right now. So it's going to start making it difficult. We're going to see some comers and goers here, I think.
48 of Austin Wheeler is about to run up on the 36. That's Bradley Reese there. And you've got the 38 there that's kind of right, that's Shane Trotter. They work their way around these drivers. Of course, if the driver sees that leader coming up behind, he may choose to move up or move down or around. You see the 42, pretty damaged race car right up there as well.
Yeah, you see Austin Wheeler not having too much trouble with traffic yet, but I think in a bit here he's going to catch. There's 3 cars running in a pack, probably about 8 car lengths in front of him, so he's going to catch them relatively quickly here.
You got the 21, the 77 of Corey Bunch. And I think that's the 19 of Ledger in front.
Boy, look how much faster his car is going down into the corner. He just blew by him there.
Yeah, so John Ledger moved over and said, hey, I get it, you're a leader.
Yep. Good respectful driving there, and you'll see that from these guys.
Puts a little bit of clean air in front of the 48 before his next battle with who's in front.
And Austin Wheeler's done a great job getting through that traffic. In fact, that's given him about a 3-second lead now over Paul Urban. That's one of the biggest gaps we've seen. He's hitting these cars just right and just able to pass them at will.
Coming up on the 55, I believe. That's Vince Burns. there is such a delta between the lap times. Like, for example, that last lap for Vince Burton was a 15:91, and these leaders are running about a half second faster.
Yep. He's coming up on Clark Franz in the 15 now, and going to make short work of that pass too. Now his lead is increased to over 4.5 seconds over that 51 of Paul Urban. So Austin Wheeler is really making this lap traffic work for him. Just building that lead up. On lap 195 now, so approaching that 200 lap mark. This is the longest green flag run we've had all night. And it helps when when you get the long green flag run, the cars can get spaced out a little bit. And it makes it a little easier to, that car in front of the leader there took a little bounce off the wall, but.
Yeah, that's a 27 of Corey Ennis.
Austin Wheeler didn't let that get to him at all. He's up to almost 6 seconds ahead of Paul Urban now. So he just keeps adding to his lead, just making this lap traffic just work to his advantage.
Yeah, going back to the 51 of Paul Urban, he's got the 24 of Matt Persini right there on his tail, as well as the 81 of Jordan Wenzel, and he's dealing with traffic. Now Josh Douglas, Josh Douglas in the 8 there, he is the last car, or was the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, sorry about that. One of the interesting, the 24 just got into the wall and then got into Paul Urban. That's Matt Persini in that car. But when they're grouped together like that, they're having to focus on the cars in front of them and the cars behind them. You're playing offense and defense at the same time, where Austin Wheeler out front, he's just playing offense now. He's just going, not even looking in his mirror. He's just going as fast as he can go and developing a plan. Okay, I got around that guy. How am I going to get around the next guy? That's all he's worried about. And he's just adding now. Look, on that last lap, Austin Wheeler was 0.2 faster than Paul Urban.
Wow.
So that makes a big difference. Makes it a lot easier for him.
204 laps in the books. That means there's only 46 laps to go here at Bristol. This race is winding down here in the iNRS Racing Series.
Well, the other thing is he's got about 23 laps advantage on his tires. Austin does over second place Paul Urban. Austin Wheeler stopped last time at lap 160, but Paul Urban, Matt Persini, and Jordan Wenzel and Jacob Mossauer are all back on lap 137. So they got 13 laps more.
I've got my eye on this 43 of Garrett Walden, who's been slowly kind of creeping up the leaderboard here, and now finds himself in 5th. He also pitted last on lap 160. Yep,
and 2 spots behind him, Jeff Ramsdell, same story, pitted on 160. So he's got a little fresher tires, and that does nothing but help you when it comes to your lap times.
Garrett Walden just last lap ran about a 10th faster than the leader, so he's working his way up. He's got Jordan Wenzel coming up in front as they try to make their way to try to do something, to have something in these last 40 laps, 39 laps for Austin Wheeler.
Yeah, and this for Austin's purposes, this is a great time to have a long green flag run.
Yeah,
because it's allowing him to just check out.
Yeah, he needs everybody to just continue to do what you're doing. He does not want to see a caution flag fly. He just wants this race to finish up. But as he works now to come around the 15 again, so he is lapping the field again.
Yeah, there's only 3 cars that are a lap down. So he is just flying through the field right now.
Yeah, with this run, only 9 cars remain on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is the 94 of Michael Whitley Jr. and he's in 9th.
Yeah. It's like that one caution had the most cars involved in it, I think, of what we've seen tonight. And that set the stage for this long green flag run.
As the 48 makes its way around the 36, actually the car in front of him is that 94 of Michael Whitley Jr. So he's about to put Michael potentially a lap down here.
Yeah. Whoop. And both those cars in front of little wall contact there.
Yeah. Goes around the 94, and then there's the 97.
Jeff Ramsdell
now goes a lap down.
'97's trying to hang on. He made another run at him there and going into the corner, but it was short-lived.
The 48 is on rails. He really has this track figured out.
And the interesting thing is he seems to be able to run wherever he needs to. So if the car he's trying to lap is running the bottom, he goes high around him. If the car is running the bottom, he just goes high, goes around them. Doesn't seem to be affecting him much.
Not at all.
Well, you can tell the guys in front of him are having a little bit of difficulty, though, because they're making some wall contact in the corners.
Yep, you can see it on the cars as it goes by. There's a lot of right side damage. Yep. So less than 29 laps to go here at Bristol in the iNRS Food City 250. Appreciate you tuning in tonight.
Just went around Shane Trotter in that 38 again. That puts Shane 3 laps down.
Well, that 99 of Tyro Lev is the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, what happens is some of these cars, they get damaged now. We get deep into this race, and they've got damage, and it's not enough to keep them off the track, but it's enough to slow them down. And speaking of that, there's the caution. He did not want to see that one come out.
Man, and the 43 of Garrett Walden, guess what, is now sitting in 2nd place.
Yeah, you had your eye on him a while back.
Yeah, I'm looking, Jeff. I don't see just what brought out that caution.
We now have, I think it's 8 cars on the lead lap. Michael Whitley just got his lap back.
The leader is on pit road.
Okay. He's given up the lead
with 25.
26 to go. 25 to go.
Now
looks like most folks are coming in, though.
Yeah, everybody's coming in. Now, there's only, 6 cars on the lead lap, so not a bad choice. You'd only be back. But now with the way it's laid out, he'll go back out. Everybody will have fresh tires, which pretty much means it'd be a bit of a shootout.
Looks like John DeRuger is making another gamble. He stayed out. He last pitted on 160, so we'll see his first gamble didn't pay off for him. We'll see what happens on this one. But most of the field getting fresh tires and fuel. No problems now making it to the end, no matter how many green, white checkers we have. So looks like Austin Wheeler comes out in first.
Yeah.
Garrett Walden second, Paul Irvin third, Jordan Wenzel fourth, Matt Parasini fifth, Jacob Mosau sixth, Tyler Lem was seventh, Michael Whitley Jr. eighth, and John DeRugeris is ninth. Eddie Mosau Jr. rounds out the top 10, and those are the 10 cars that are on the lead lap as well.
Yeah, we'll wait for the field to reset itself. As you can tell, you're back under. I'm not sure what happened here, but cautions again out.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't have a clean restart. I could be wrong, but something was just odd on that.
Yeah, it felt very weird.
I think maybe they threw they just threw a caution to kind of get this field set back up.
Looks like they're going to start the way they started on the prior caution. So something was not correct when they started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the field had not formed up, and somehow they went green flag racing.
Yeah.
We were not prepared. Nothing told us in the booth here that, hey, we're about to go back to green. Usually there's a little indication, like cars are side by side, they're all bunched up. That didn't occur. We just magically wound up green. But it looks like Garrett Walden will be on the front row with Austin Wheeler. Jordan Wenzel and Paul Irvin will be row 2.
And right now, iRacing is showing Garrett Walden in P1, but what the race control was saying was that they were going to start in the order prior, so we'll see. Oh, there Austin Wheeler goes back up to the front now.
I think Garrett Walden will, I guess at that point, if they make Austin Wheeler the control car, then he can pick obviously which lane he wants to go in. But he'll be battling up front with Garrett Walden.
Yep.
All right, lights are still on the pace car with 20 laps to go. Expecting this to go out.
Race control still trying to sort out the starting order.
Well, laps are ticking away here at Bristol.
Yeah.
Looks like we're getting a bit more organized. Guessing next time by, not this time, but next time we should be back to green.
Every now and then iRacing will get janky on a restart. I've seen it happen a couple times in races I've been in. Not very often, but this was one I think that happened. Now the question they're discussing is, somebody got a lucky dog on that last one, and they don't think they should have because that wasn't a real green flag. So they're trying to sort that out now.
Well, we're still under caution here as this field tries to get together. There's some minor contact between the 24 of Matt Pericini and the 51 of Paul Irvin. Little bumper to bumper of, hey, I'm right here. So. Oh, and what's going on back there? There's a big gap between these guys who are back here, the 3, the 19, etc., trying to play catch up to the lead. I don't know. We're not in race control. We're just kind of observing, just like you are. Thank you for staying with us as we are here at Bristol for the iNRS Food City 250. 17 laps to go. Still under caution. But the lights are out on the pace car, and that means we're at least going back next time by 15 laps to go.
Boy, this has been one of the most confusing restarts I've been a part of. But these guys on the radios are doing a good job at trying to get it back to where it should be and do it fairly. I give them kudos for that.
All right, back underway. 48 gets a great jump. Really sets the 43 back. They're door to door.
Boy,
behind. Really just not the best restart for the 43 of Garrett Walden.
Yeah, that was a great jump on Austin Wheeler's part.
Now all these drivers have got fresh tires. Every pitted last on lap 225.
13 to go. If this stays green, let's try
Austin
to keep
Wheeler,
it clean, guys.
Jordan Wenzel, Jacob Musso finds himself in third.
Yep, Paul Irvin, Michael Whitley Jr., Garrett Wald, 4th, 5th, and 6th right there. Austin Wheeler's got a jump on them, but not the lead that he had. He was up to a 10-second lead. Now it's less than a second. So they're going to keep the pressure on him as hard as they can. We have 11 cars on the lead lap now. Eddie Mossad Jr. is the last car on the lead lap. Ron Fitting in that 3 is the only car 1 lap down at this point.
Just 9 laps to go here. Austin Wheeler continues to lead. We're looking back. Jordan Wenzel is just about a half second behind and trying desperately to close that gap. Jacob Musso has got his hands full with that 51 of Paul Irvin right on his tail.
Yeah, Paul Irvin's been up in the front all night long, and he does not want to give up that spot. He does not want to finish 4th. He wants to get back up there and fight for the lead. But that distance is just, I think, now getting to the point where it's going to be too much to overcome without a caution flag.
So keeping our eye on the track and the 48 of Austin Wheeler, 6 laps to go. His lead is now almost 3/4 of a second over second place Jordan Wenzel.
Just ticked down to 5 laps. But laps go quickly when they're green. I mean, every 14 and a half seconds right now, we're cranking off another lap.
Garrett Walden is sitting in 5th, but he's got the 99 of Tyra Lem about to try to find a way around. Michael Whitley Jr. right there in the 94.
You got some really good battles in that top 5. Some of them only less than 2/10 of a second separating them.
And with just 2 laps to go, we're watching your leader, Austin Wheeler, wheel his way around this track here at Bristol.
And getting ready to take the white flag here. There it is. Final lap. Next lap ends next flag ends the race. Austin Wheeler going into 3. He'll do the comes out. Coming out of 4, and here he comes.
There is your winner of tonight's race here at Bristol. Austin Wheeler in the 48 wins tonight here at Bristol, with Jordan Wenzel in second, Jacob Musso in third. Great finish by the 25 of Jacob Musso.
Yeah, that was a great comeback for him. He started 8th. And Tyler Lim, we talked about him a little bit, but picked up 24 spots and finished 6th. Great run for Tyler in that 99 car.
All right, with that, let's see if we can bring up our results.
Austin Wheeler wearing off what's left of those tires.
All right, our results are in, and as expected, Austin Wheeler wins the Food City 250 here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the iNRS Series. Jordan Wenzel second, Jacob Musso third, Michael Whitley fourth, Garrett Walden fifth, Tyler Lemon sixth, Paul Irvin seventh, Matt Pericini in eighth, Jeff Ramsdell in ninth, John Drugis in 10th, Eddie Musso in 11th, and Ron Fitting in 12th. Josh Douglas in 13th, Clark Franz in 14th, John Ledger in 15th, Shane Trotter in 16th, and Corey Ennis in 17th.
In 18th spot, we've got Vince Burns, Corey Bunch in 19th, Richard Mills in 20th, Austin Walton is in 21st, Bradley Reese 22nd, followed by Matt Crockett, Eric Jeffers, Tony Japs, Scott Thomas, Christopher Cash, Ty Bostic, Joe Mossow in 29th, Robin Maldonado in 30th, Lucas Whitehead 31st, Lucas Gortman in 32nd, and Dakota LaRue in 33rd.
All right, let's bring in Jacob Musso into the booth. All right, Jacob, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you.
Man, Bristol, Bristol is just such a challenging track, such a rhythm track. Tell us a little bit about this race for you.
I'm not very good at Bristol, so I was surprised when I qualified in the top 10. So I just ran the bottom because I love the bottom lane, and it was a bad move. I got put all the way back to 18th, 19th on the first run, and luckily I was able to play tire strategy there and stay out on old tires for the stage, and it was top lane dominant, as you could tell.
Yep.
And I just stuck on the top, even though I'm a bottom lane princess. I love the bottom. I went up to the top for the first time and put it in the wall. I'm like, well, this is not for me, but I had to be up there. And so I learned it, and I got 6th or something on the stage. And then further in the race, we had a caution. We all pit, and I got a penalty on pit road. So I went to the back and came back up, and somehow managed 3rd. And I think it's just because I was in the top lane, and then just giving no people any. I wasn't giving anybody room because I wanted that 3rd bad, especially for a track I suck at pretty bad. So.
Well, Jacob, you had a lot of company up there in the wall. We were seeing people all night long with the track being slick, people getting into that wall. So you had plenty of company.
Oh yeah, I think I took it on a date a few times. It was a pretty gnarly race up there.
Yeah, definitely towards the end between you, Michael Whitley, and Garrett Walden. It's looking a little scary back there. But congratulations on your P3 finish. Any shout outs for tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out all the boys at SFM, Corey, Joe, and Eddie. We have a lot of fun there. Shout out Jordan Wenzel, one of our buddies, and you guys for a great broadcast. Love going back and watching it. You guys are amazing. And then iNRS for this great league we get to run in. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. There's your 3rd place finisher tonight. It's our Jacob Musso. Finishes right there on the podium. And with that, let's bring in Jordan Wenzel into the broadcast booth. Jordan, congratulations on your second place finish. Man, Bristol is a challenging track.
Yeah, I swear you said that last week.
I did. Probably the exact words. We've been back to back. These are drivers' tracks. They really are.
This was a lot harder, I'd say, than Darlington, because Darlington you could make moves, you could move around. You couldn't pass here.
No. No, as we said in our keys to tonight, it really is, qualifying and track position that really is going to determine how you finish here. It's so hard to get around, and especially with these long green flag runs, you quickly saw the disparity in the field.
Yeah, I tried to save my tires early, and because that's kind of how I won last year, was because of a pit strat or in the fall race. It was kind of a long run strategy, but we didn't use as many tires this time, so it was a lot better racing. Like, I don't know about last year, but like since last spring. I mean, we actually had green flag runs. We didn't have a green flag pit stop, which would have been really interesting, but that's mostly my fault because I accidentally turned the 24 coming to this last caution here.
Jordan, what happened towards the end of the race? It seemed like our pole sitter had fast lap for the vast majority of the race, and then all of a sudden you get to the end of the race, and the top four cars or top three cars all had faster laps. You ended up with the fast lap of the race at 14.405, which was faster than the pole speed.
Oh, well, I didn't know that I did that, but I was trying my best to try to get around Austin or get even back to him, because when you're the leader, you get such a big jump when you get the restart. And I tried to run him down, and that's why. And he was just pushing as hard as I was, and he was setting fours as well. And if you weren't significantly better than somebody and you ran the top, you weren't going to get past.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yep.
Well, any shout outs tonight, Jordan?
Well, shout out to all the FTM guys, the IRFK guys, 40XLI. Again, sorry to Matt. It wasn't intentional. It was just a big checkup, and I killed him. I know a sorry doesn't fix a race car, but yeah, I wish that it didn't happen.
Well, things do happen.
Yeah.
All right, that's your second place finisher, Mr. Jordan Wenzel, and on to Austin Wheeler, who wins tonight here at Bristol. Austin, congratulations on your win.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Man, really towards the end there, we saw just, prior to that last caution, I'll say that, you really had checked out on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't 100% honest, probably. I had probably 18 or so laps fresher tires than everybody else. But once I got the big lead, I really started saving a whole bunch just in case everything came back around. But yeah, I really didn't want to see that last caution there, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, I think we said that in the booth, as we were winding down. We just wanted, I'm sure in your mind was, let it stay green, and it almost did.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't believe it was green that much, and the amount of good green flag runs we did have tonight. I was really impressed, and I thank everybody that was here racing tonight for keeping it clean and keeping it green.
Yeah, overall, a great race. Just was it 13 cautions, Jeff? Did I get that right?
Let's see, 12 I've got. Could have been 13 because there was cautions. I think one. Yeah, the last one I didn't write down 13.
Yeah, with 15 laps to go. So.
Yeah, Austin, you guys, the pace picked up at the end, which really surprised me. The pole sitter, John Rugers, had fast lap for almost all the race, and then boy, right at the end, top 4 or 5 cars all of a sudden just blew past him. You ended up with the second fastest lap. Jordan Wenzel just edged you out by just about 100th of a second, so which is less than a blink of an eye. But what what do you attribute that to? Why did the speeds pick up at the end like that?
Well, the track was really, really free earlier in the start of the race, so you couldn't push but so hard. And with that, I was only running probably 85, 90%, not trying to burn the rear tires off like I did in the first 10 laps. It ended up working out for me towards the end of the stage. I come up and almost got the stage win, but Wenzel beat me out on that. But there towards the end, I mean, the track got gripped up, and you can really attack the corner well and drive it off the exit and not pay too big of a price for it. So it picked up quite a bit. I think 3-4 tenths there at the end.
Yeah, it definitely showed. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank my team, Smoky Mountain Motorsports, all my sponsors on the car, Wheelers Painting, Cash Customs, everybody that keeps supporting me every week, and I'm glad to get number 3 win on the year for the team.
Absolutely. Well, this definitely, you can kind of put your eyes towards the playoffs. Obviously, we've got a break in the schedule for next week, but then we'll head back to Talladega.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get hooked up, get some good stage points, because now, I mean, we're looking at a lot of playoff points. So try some stage wins, try to stack some race wins, and see how we can do.
You got it. All right, there's your winner tonight, Mr. Austin Wheeler, who is punching his ticket into the playoffs as we continue here in the iNRS Racing Series. Jeff, thoughts on tonight?
I think Bristol lived up to its reputation. We talked about it during the race about how you had to have track position. The top 5 cars all started in that top group, so track position paid off for them. The only one that didn't was Tyler Lim, who finished 6th, and he gained 24 spots. But track position was key, and we also talked about how we had so many cautions at the beginning of the race, but then at the end we had a long green flag run, probably 60, 70 laps. So, and that really allowed Austin Wheeler to get that big lead, and then he was able to keep that lead after that late race caution.
All right, that wraps it up here tonight at Bristol with the Food City 250. Your winner, Austin Wheeler. We'll be off next Thursday, but we'll be right back after that in Talladega. When we let me just double check what that. So that will be the Jack Links 250 at Talladega. Looking forward to that, and for our 10th race of the season. So from myself, Rick Sousa, and Jeff Nini, good night, and we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks very much, folks.